Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am super excited to come to you today with another fresh episode for your Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. You know how it goes here. Another day, another dollar, another show, another week. More work to put in the ground, more processes to build, more systems to put in place, more people to grow, so in turn, our business grows. Man, I'm excited, getting pumped up for the year. It is right around the corner. Like, we're 3 weeks away from mowing here in Alabama, which is just astronomically wild. I can't believe that we're here, but it is here. And so we are actually taking advantage. We've had some pretty decent weather the last week. Now we're getting hit some rain the rest of the week. So we're going to get like 4 to 5 inches of rain in the next 4 days. So it's going to be a wet one. It's going to be soggy. It's going to be just messy. I don't know what all we're going to be able to get done, but we're going to take this time to train. And we're going to take this time to make sure that we are putting things in place that are going to help us grow this year. Now, one thing I do want to say before we start off the show today is thank you to each and every one of you who support the show. Each and every one that come in, they share, they listen. You are the reason that we get to keep this thing going, right? And I want to say thank you to everyone who has used our code Jeremiah to sign up with LMN. You will not regret it. Your business is going to change forever if you actually use that thing the way that it should be used. So that is one of the best things you can do for your business. I'll talk for 2 seconds on that. If you're interested in LMN, what is it? What's it about? Now is the time. Like, I never want to say you're running out of time, right? Because you can do it any point in the year. You're running out of time if you want to do it during the least stressful time of the year. That's a better way to put it. So use code Jeremiah, sign up. You can get 10% off your whole subscription for a year, and it's going to be a game changer, I promise you. You're going to see some major changes if you actually take it and apply it and do the steps that you need to take to actually put it in place. And get in touch with a growth accelerator. Pay the extra money. I promise you it'll be worth it. You will know your numbers better than you ever have before. And so I'm not going to go on the whole know your numbers tangent, but trust me, unless you're a spreadsheet whiz, you don't actually know your numbers. You're not recovering everything you should be recovering. You're not applying everything you should be applying to your estimates. So make sure, check out LMN if you're interested in that today. But what I want to get into today for just a few minutes here on a Wednesday and midweek show, we're doing some training. We're doing some things to help us grow. We're going to utilize Greeniest. We actually just started making some videos today, just basic videos on like hooking up a trailer, unhooking a trailer, things like that. We're building out the training programs this year to help us really grow over the next 3 to 5 years. And this is the year of documentation. We've said that. This is the year of leadership, right? And I want to take a minute and really dive into this for just a few minutes. I will not go long today. I'm not going to take a bunch of your time. I know that you may get tired of hearing me talk and ramble, but I really think you're going to get some value out of this. And I think that, actually I know that one of the hardest things that you're going to do in your life is learn how to lead people. People are a hard thing to manage. That is why you've heard me say recently, you build the system and then you manage the system. The system manages the people and then you manage the system, right? You cannot manage 50, 60, 70 employees all on your own, just like single employee by employee. You have to be able to have a system in place that will manage those, and then you do your best to manage the system. But when you're in the beginning years, guys, a lot of you are 0 to 500K in business, maybe 750. You've got 3 to 5 to 7 employees, and you've not necessarily led anyone before. Maybe you have kids, you've led your kids, they're young kids, middle age, whatever. I'm learning to lead a toddler now, which is a whole nother ballgame in and of itself. I would love some book recommendations on that. Let me pause. Anybody that has a toddler, had a toddler, gone through the toddler phase, used or read a book or anything like that, maybe it's boy specific, it doesn't have to be toddler specific. Like, any books or recommendations you have on that, would love to hear those. Shoot those to me, because I'm trying to do my the best stuff that I can do to educate myself on how a toddler brain works, because it doesn't work like an adult, right? And so I have to think about how he's processing things as a toddler. So would love any book recommendations you got on that. But like I said, you have to learn to lead people. And what does that look like, right? What does leadership look like? The company is not going to grow. It's going to cap at you, right? If you can't lead people, you might hire people that they're going to know more hardscaping than you know, and know more landscaping than you know, and can cut grass better than you can cut grass. But if you can't lead them in the visionary role and the advisor role, then the company is going to stop and cap at you. And what are you doing to get there, to grow that side, right? I heard, I was listening to a podcast. Actually, I still have to finish it, but was listening to Caleb Allman's podcast with Paver King. And I've actually never heard anything super in depth. I've never listened to Not Our Finance Hour. And I was listening to an episode with Paver King, and Mike was talking, and he was talking about just how he used to hate, or he still does hate working on the business, and he didn't find value in working on the business. His self-worth was found working in the field, and he's taken a lot of time to reflect on that, change that over the past 12 months, and work more on the business, because he's doing $3 million in sales, got 6, 8, 10 guys somewhere in there, running around, managing 2 commercial crews, trucks, all this stuff. And he's I had to learn to realize and reflect on my time is valuable in the office and working on the business. Well, guys, working on the business is not just throwing numbers in a spreadsheet. It's not just sending out estimates and LMN. It's leading people. It's learning how to lead your team. Why do you think sheep are dumb, right? Sheep are dumb. They have to have a shepherd. The shepherd keep them in the flock to keep the flock safe. Without a shepherd, sheep are getting killed. They're leaving. The lion's getting them. They're taking them away, right? Without a shepherd in place to guide your team, you're the shepherd, right? Without you in place, your employees are going to do dumb things. They're going to go all over the place. They're going to wreck. They're not going to train right. They're not going to know defensive driving skills. They're not going to know where to shoot grass, right? They're going to shoot it in a mulch bed, not out in the open yard, just because they don't know. Sheep don't know. Now, I'm not calling your employees dumb, but what I am telling is you are called to a standard as the owner of figuring out how to lead and what that looks like. And this is going to look different for every single person out there, right? It's going to look different for me leading my team of 4 than it is you leading your team of 2 and leading a team of 8, right? And it's going to grow, and we're going to share that as we grow. That's why I hope you guys stay in tune to our podcast over the next really 12 to 24 months, because the things we're going to be sharing and talking about, guys, we're an open book, right? I've shared how I'm hiring. I've shared how I hired leadership in one try, one attempt. Now, look, I'm not taking the credit for it, right? The Lord bless me. I stay faithful to Him. He's going to give back. We're going to see the fruits of it. We share that all the time. I'm not saying I did anything in the process, but what I did do is I put the things in place that help the process go, right? Lord gives us free will to make our decisions. I could make a decision to say, hey, I need some laborers, and you must pick up 50 pounds, right? No, I made the better decision to say, look, we need blah, blah, blah. We've talked about job ads, all that stuff. So in my first attempt, hired 2 brand new leadership roles, and they're filling out very nicely, right? And so I'm going to share everything that we're doing along the way. I'm paying for coaching from someone who's doing it above and beyond what I have. They're doing 10 plus million in business. Well, he's going to coach me and tell me how I can get to $1 million, $2 million, $3 million plus. I'm paying for that stuff, and you're getting it for free here on the show. So take advantage, come back, listen to us over the next 24 months, because I promise you're going to find value in it. As you grow your team, you have to sit back and reflect and say, what am I doing? What am I doing, right? What am I doing personally? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I am evaluating how I talk to my people and how I encourage them and how I communicate with them clearly. I have to set clear goals for the business, right? We're having our leadership meetings every single Monday. Last year, we failed in that category. We failed in the area of meetings. And you may hear Dan Martell say, meetings suck, meetings are useless. Don't spend time doing meetings. There is some truth to that in different roles, different positions. In our growing company where we're trying to set our foundation and me get the things out of my head into my crew's head and onto paper of what our business is, who we are, things like that, we got to have meetings. And so we're having leadership meetings every single week. We're going to have 52 of them this year. We're going to have 52. every single week on Monday mornings, before we start the week off, we're meeting in the office. We're talking for an hour to an hour and a half, 7 to 8:30. And we're going to talk about the things that happened the week before. We're going to talk about the week upcoming. And we're going to go into the year with our head on a swivel, ready to take everything on that we can. But that's going to come from being prepared, right? And because we're taking the time to talk about it. And today, like, we had a meeting today. And you know what I discussed? I discussed with them as you bring people on, and you have a lot of things in your head, right? Remember that. That's going to be one of your biggest challenges when you bring people in is you have everything in your head. You don't necessarily have it all on paper. And so you have to get it out of your head onto paper so your people can see it and understand it. I asked them today, point blank, after they've been with, so this would have been our third weekly meeting with the new leadership in place. And we talked and I opened the floor. I said, I want you to tell us what kind of company we are. Are we a top tier? Are we middle to upper tier? Are we middle to lower tier? Are we bottom feeders, mow, blow, and go? Like, where do we fall in that range? What do you think from the work we've done over the past 3 weeks? What do you think we are? And we sat there and we went around the room, we discussed, and it was a very eye-opening conversation because we got a lot out there. We figured out a lot of things in a matter of 30 minutes just saying, like, look, this is what I expect when you're on a job. This is the quality I expect. This is the time that I want you to do it in because this is the type of company we are. And I'll tell you what type of company we are. We are a middle to upper tier company. We are not a top tier. We're not geographically located to be a top tier. I don't really have an interest to be a top tier at this stage in business. That's just not what we're doing right now. We're going more of a maintenance route. We're going more of a simple design install route. We're not doing big landscape like backyard overhaul designs, pools, all of that stuff, right? There's a place for that. There's a market for that. It's about 30 minutes west of me. And so we are not in that yet. We are a middle to upper tier company. We're not going to go way, way, way above and beyond, but we're going to do a little bit more than what your middle average guy is going to do. We're going to give you really good quality. We're not going to have callbacks, things like that. We're going to maintain our quality, but we're not a top tier. And the reason you have to figure these things out, right, is because you got to make sure your people know this because we're not billing out to be a top tier company. And that's the problem, right? If your people don't know what you're billing out, how you're billing out, then they're going to be like, well, if they're on the job, and I'm obviously like frustrated that they didn't get job done in estimated versus actual, right? The actual hours were 20% over what our estimated was. We're losing money at that point. Well, especially like you're running that's a whole nother story. We're not getting into that. That's what you're measuring, right? And so if you're over that, you're going to get frustrated and be like, guys, why can we not hit this? Why can we not, like, what's the issue here? And then they're going to be like, well, we're going to start like, what's this dude so mad about? What does he expect from us? Are we just going to start sacrificing quality? Are we going to speed up super fast? Are we just never going to hit hours? They're going to start getting frustrated back. But by telling them, look, guys, this is our standard. This is where we're at. We're billing out at this. So when I show some frustration, it's not that I'm upset at you. It's that either I priced it incorrectly or I didn't do a good job enough telling you guys what my expectations were in the process and what I wanted us to end up looking like, what I wanted the project to end up looking like. And so I just want you to make sure that you're thinking about those things as you grow your business, as you look forward, as you add people in, like communicate with them clearly, learn to lead them, over communicate, tell them things, like make sure they know what the future looks like. We sat down and we talked. I said, look, we want to hit $960,000 in revenue this year. We got to sell $20,000 a week in work, right? And that's over a 40-week period, or that's over a 48-week period. If we break it down to 40 weeks, we got to sell $25,000 of work a week. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of revenue to be put in the bank, right? And so, I told them that. I said, look, this is another way, right? This is another way to help lead because when I say lead, like you're telling them, hey, when I'm doing this, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about here. I told them, look, yesterday we're on a project, right? I could have stayed there with you on that project and helped you finish, right? I could have helped you. It would have gone faster. We would have gotten out of there faster. It would have been an extra set of hands, blah, blah, blah. But when I left that job, I went to the office for 2 hours, and I sold $6,000 worth of work in a matter of 2 hours. And, no, it was really closer to $8,000. And remember, we got $25,000 to sell a week, right? I got to be cranking some estimates out. And so my time is better spent in the office, sending out estimates and generating revenue. So what I tell them is, look, when I've got to go and I've got to break away, I don't want you to think that I'm just like breaking away because I don't want to do the hard things. I'm breaking away because I don't want to be with you guys. Like that's not what it is at all. What it is the fact that, like, hey, we've got a lot of work to sell. We've got a lot of work to put in the ground. And this is where my time is best spent. Because, again, we want $25,000 a week sold. It's going to take a lot of time in the office for me to do it. And so just think about those things as you look at your year ahead. What does that look like for you? Where is your time best spent, right? How are you going to help lead your people on the way and communicate to them? Don't let them think that you're just like off in the sunset having a good time. Now, yeah, there's times you're going to go on vacation, and that's fine. But make sure that when you're not on a job, they don't think that you're just out like having a good time, waiting on them to go to get the work done, right? That's not the culture you want to build. So just think about those things as you progress, as you add people in. Communicate clearly. Read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, if you haven't done that. If you've not done that, that is my first call to action for you. If you made it this far in the podcast, that is my first call to action. Hands down, without a question, read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you haven't done that, I promise you, if you read it and apply it, your life will change for the better forever. Like, it changes the way you look at everything if you actually apply it. You see how the human brain reacts and works. And it's a book that makes you say, hey, I'm not better than thou, but hey, I'm working on myself to not be the average human. Because the average human is so self-centered, so self-focused, so self-righteous. All they want to talk about is themselves. They don't want to hear anything about anybody else. They just want to share their own things. They're not slow to speak. They're very quick to speak, slow to listen, when it should be slow to speak, quick to listen, right? And I promise you, if you're reading that book, I highly, highly, highly recommend you do that. I'm buying that book for all of our team to read. That's going to be something we review in our weekly leadership meetings, right? That's going to be part of the process, is we're going to learn how to lead people the right way from the beginning. Because guess what? They're going to be leading crews. They got to know how to talk to people. They got to know how to react to people when somebody calls and messes something up, right? I talked about on the podcast the other day when the gas got put in the hydraulic pump. How did I react? I thought back on that show. I don't know that I did a good job explaining it. I reacted for a second, and I got it I said one thing, and I was like, what are you doing? But then after that, that was it. I didn't say anything else about it. Like, okay, let's fix it. What's the solution? And I didn't chew the guy out. I'm not holding it against him. Like, it is what it is. We're moving on, right? And so I want to make sure that, like, you're realizing and thinking about those things as you grow. You're going to have mistakes. Things are going to happen. How are you leading? How are you setting an example? Because everything rises and falls on leadership. There's no one else that's going to take your company to new heights except you. Everything rises and falls on the way you lead and the example that you set. And you have to build a culture based on the way that you go about your everyday life. The way they see you act, the way they hear you talk, the way that you carry yourself is going to show a lot. You show up late every day. You show up not in uniform. You show up without things in order. Like, they're going to see that. And those are things that I'm constantly working on. Everything I've talked about in the show are things that I'm constantly working on. So I'm saying this, all of this to say, look, the future is so bright for you. You listening to this show, I'm talking to you individually. Stop for a second, whatever you're doing. No one is going to stop you except you. You put the cap on yourself. Why would you put a cap on yourself? Do the simple things every day. The discipline will create good habits. The good habits will create things to come down the road where you end up having people look at you and say, okay, look, his habits actually, like, because he has good habits, his lifestyle reflects these actions that he's wanting to talk about and preach, right? If you say one thing and do another, what good does that do you? Everyone's looking at how you act, right? Do as I say, not as I do type mentality. That's a wrong mentality to have. Say one thing, do a second. Do a different thing. That's not a good way to grow your team. So as you grow, and this says you don't have to be growing some $20 million company, right? You don't have to have 10, 15, 20 employees. You do this with 1 or 3 or 2 or 5 guys. Put your number on it. You need to be doing every single day, every single thing that you can every single day to put yourself in a better position to win. And by doing that, you will make progress, and no one else is going to stop you along the way. You'll look back and say, man, where did I come in the past 5 years? What did I do to get here? Little daily steps every day, little action steps pay off huge dividends in the end. I hope that brought some value to you. I told you it'd be a quick show, 20 minutes in and out. I just want you to go take action from this, learn how to lead people, get the book, How to Influence and Influence People. Like, I promise you, like, I guarantee you, if you buy the book and you say, I hate it, I want to send it back, or it wasn't worth my money, let me know. Let me know. I'll send you the money for the book. Promise you right now. If one person buys the book and takes action from it, I promise you it will be worth it. You will not regret it. You won't regret it. Think about these things. Let them set in. Take action. We're mowing in 3 weeks. I know y'all guys are close. I know you're still getting some snow. Keep your head up. Keep pushing. Get the year in check. Get ahead of the 8 ball. Make sure you're pedal to the metal, getting things in order, and you're going to fire on all cylinders this year by putting these little steps and things, pieces in place that turn out, like I said, paying big dividends in the long run. I appreciate you. I love you. I care about you. If we can do anything to help, reach out and let me know. You can email me, text me, DM me, whatever. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We got 6 weeks until baby comes. It's going to get crazier on here, but we're trying to get the things in place now. So when that time comes, we have a little more systematized process, and we're ready to rock and roll. So I appreciate you. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. That's going to wrap this one up. Without any further ado, we'll catch you here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.